Good morning, 8th grade. How are you all doing today? How'd you make out with yesterday's little simple lesson? Wasn't it a simple? I'll tell you what, they must put you guys on break already, but let's check a few of them here. Yeah, this is on the first number 1 over here. You should have had your total there. I don't know, can you see that? If you can't see it, that's okay. Tell me to hold the book differently, and let's assume that you can. So for that's number 3 there at the top of the page. Number 4. Does it help if I hold the book still? And then you can see down to number 8. I guess you got it at the bottom. Maybe I should tell you number 5's answer is 9 feet and 10 feet, 9 feet wide, 10 feet long. And number 6's answer is 168 feet squared and 48 feet squared. Okay, that's the end. I mean, they don't give you much work. I'm concerned about this. If you'd be here at school, I used to do extra practice sheets. We would, I don't know what all, flashcards. Is that what you do if you're bored? Yeah. Lesson 3. I won't show these answers. I'll just show you the picture of the bag of gold. Is that what your book looks like? Ooh. I don't know why they showed you a bag of gold and then they tell you about writing checks, because checks drain the bag of gold. Yeah, let me tell you something. I hate writing checks because it means you gotta pay your bills, and that takes some money right out of the bag of gold. Yeah. So let me talk about checks. Writing checks today, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, they said, won't be long, there won't be any checks around. We won't need to use any checks. It'll all be credit cards. And now today they say, oh, it won't be long. It won't, everything will be done online banking. There won't even be any credit cards. Well, I'd imagine if I would have lived long enough and could remember, they'd have probably said when the checks came out, it won't be long, there won't be any cash. And checks, cash, credit cards, online banking, online transactions, or Apple Pay, and I'm sure there's more that I don't even know about. Square. Those are all electronic devices to pay things, to buy things, to sell things. I think that there'll always be a need for a check, and there'll always be a need for cash. Now, I might be wrong. Maybe the system of our government and our money would maybe go to some time when you wouldn't be allowed to use cash or checks. Maybe not. But up until then, you need to learn how to write a check. It's important that you have enough money in the bank, though. Don't write a check if you don't have the money in the bank. That's poor business. And don't ask me if I ever made an overdraft, okay? I'll tell you, don't let your mom and dad listen to this. But yes, one time I miscalculated, and I thought I had more money in the bank than what I did, and I wrote a $40 check and it bounced. Thankfully, the bank covered me, and they didn't charge me a late fee. Or yes, they charged me a fee, an overdraft fee, but they did go ahead and run my $40 check through so that I didn't get a bad credit somewhere. That's a good bank, and yeah, it's First National Bank. Oh no, it's not First National. It's First Savings Bank of Odin, and that's where you need to get your bank account. If you're not there, you need to get there. I see I didn't turn out the lights, so you're getting a glare there. Is that a big deal for you? Let me see here. Yeah, give me a second. Yeah, I'm back. I turned out the lights now. Take a look at your check here. I put one on the board here. Number one thing is put the date in it. Never write a check without putting a date. So today is April. I'm gonna just put 4/16. Is that right? Of 20. Put the date in. Oh, I forgot to tell you an important thing. You've got to use ink. You must use ink in your today's lesson. Checks dare not be written in lead. Because a crook, could go and erase it and change the amount. So you dare not write the check in lead. Ink. So you use ink today as well. I want you, this is official. You're writing official checks. I should have maybe used a different color. The next thing is you should write who the check is to. Okay? So it's made to, the example they used was of Malice School. Let me see here. Let's make it to Graver Post. Graver Post. Graver Post Building. Okay, put the name in, who gets the check. Now you can give a check without a name in it, and then some places they'll stamp it. But I like to write the name in it. The next thing is you write the dollar amount. And it's going to be, let me see here, I bought a little building material. It's going to be $355.75. Okay? I think that's the third thing you do. It doesn't have to be in this order. But yes, it does. It should be. When you write a proper check, you write it in this order. The date, and you always follow the same order. That way you don't skip anything. Next you write in dollars, you write the amount. 300, 155. And then you draw a line. And I don't know for sure which way does the book tell you. They tell you to put the cents over here. I always write the 75 cents over here. 75 over $1. Now, they tell you to put it here, so maybe you should put it here. You better do it properly. I probably don't put it. I'll tell you what, though, the banks will cash it. And I've heard say, ready, you know why you draw that line? You draw that line so people can't add stuff into there. Okay? So what that means is, even though you didn't use up all the space, you draw that line over to the dollar sign so they can't put 355, and if you wouldn't have this line here, they put 355,000. You get the point? And all they have to do is back here, they add a couple of zeros. 355, they add 3 zeros. And so all of a sudden they'd have a $355,000 check. Now, it wouldn't be a problem on my part. If they did that to me, I wouldn't have $355,000. But maybe if they did that to you, they might get a lot of money off of you. Now, there's another one that's option is what it's for. If you are writing a check for something, obviously, if I wrote it in Graver Post, I knew it was going to be for building material or something from the hardware store. Yeah. I don't always put that in. Now, it's good, it's reference. And if you're writing a check to the electric company, if you're writing a check to the phone bill, Verizon, well, we pay our Verizon bill online, so I don't write a check, but anything like that, you can put the invoice number. Or Graver Post would give me if I'd been paying a bill, it would have had an invoice number. And it's good to put that in there. Let's say it's 67831 was the invoice number. If you put that number there in the check, that way when they get it, the secretary will say, oh yeah, that's for his bill, invoice so-and-so. And they can look on the computer or whatever, and it will keep clarity. So if you, especially like for electric bill, you can write out your thing, who's Kevin Graver? They don't have a clue. And maybe if you have 2 or 3 accounts on electricity, you can put the number there for the bill, which if you get a bill in the mail, it'll have an invoice number. So do that. Last of all, okay, last of all, validate the check. You know how you validate it? Put your name. Sign your name. It's to be signature. It doesn't have to even be legible, okay? If your signature, however you write your signature, it does not have to be legible. You don't have to be able to read it. Matter of fact, it's got your name up here in the top corner. So if they want to know who you are, they should be able to tell. Now, my wife and I both got our names on, so surely they can tell. Well, they can tell in the writing between my writing and her writing, okay? There's a lot of difference there. Yeah. Your check will have a bank account number on it and a checking account. Down here at the bottom, I never put the numbers here, but there'll be a routing number, a checking account number, and a check number will be there as well. Most every check has got all checks do have a number up there. So you will do the checks today. You be sure to put the correct date in it. Be sure to fill in the memo. They used to say memo there. Now they say that was like for the item. Now they say for. I wonder what my checks say. I don't have a check. I have my checkbook here. I'll check it out. So you're going to write 1, 2, 3, 4 checks. Be sure to do them the proper way. Write them in ink. And yeah, do problems 5 and 6. So you have about 6 problems today. You should be done before recess. So have fun, and I will catch you tomorrow.